What's going on, guys? My name is Brennan. This is the Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast. My co-host Ray is reliving his glory days from high school, and Aaron is signing up kids for World War III. I only kid, of course, but tonight I'm going to talk about the Thursday night match, and I'm also going to talk about the Sunday late preview games. There's only 4 of them, so I'll jump right into the recap of Thursday night football. My apologies. It was the Tennessee Titans going into Pittsburgh. It was exactly what you kind of expected. So Tennessee 16, Pittsburgh 20. Will Levis was started by a lot of you guys. I can only imagine the game he had, but this was a game that I kind of expected. He has a nice arm. I will not discredit what he does on the field, but I will say that the game was a little bit overblown due to the fact that Atlanta did not have any safeties covering on any of his touchdowns. They were all just blown coverages. Steelers definitely made sure to limit everything and keep it in front of him tonight. Kenny Pickett, I'm still on the field of that he's not their future quarterback for long-term purposes. He's okay. I think he's a very, very good backup quarterback at best. Both just didn't have a great game. The under hit in this game, it's been pretty much trending all throughout Thursday Night Football. The under always hits. It was 37. Obviously, the final score is 36. Derrick Henry is still a very good running back. 17 carries, 75 yards. He did get a little bit of receiving work tonight. 3 receptions for 27 yards. He did find the end zone. And along with Najee Harris, I bash the guy a lot. I think he is still the second best running back on the team, but he's been putting up respectable RB2 numbers for the past 3 weeks in a row. So you start him no matter what. Jaylen Warren, as you can see here, 11 carries, 88 yards, 3 receptions for 25 yards. When you watch him play, there's just something about Jaylen Warren that he's very explosive. So I don't mind people actually starting him because I think he is the better back and he can break one off. Receiving wise, I know everyone was expecting this big bounce back, second repeating game for DeAndre Hopkins, but that wasn't the case. He did have 11 targets, though. He was heavily targeted, but he was covered pretty well, I would say, for most of the game. 4 receptions for 60 yards. Kyle Phillips, with Treylon Burks going down, even before then, Kyle Phillips was used a lot. Prayers for Treylon Burks, by the way. He was carted off the field. I don't think it's anything serious. He's feeling in all of extremities, so not a crazy play, just kind of bounced and hit his head. Looked like it just kind of knocked the wind out of him, but I hope he's okay. Just not the game you're expecting for DeAndre Hopkins. But on the other side, the last time Dionte Johnson caught a touchdown was when Big Ben was the quarterback for the Steelers. He finally caught a touchdown this season. He even said that he was trying to get that monkey off his back. 7 receptions, 90 yards, and a touchdown. It's a great game for him. Unfortunately, George Pickens, he was pretty upset on the sidelines. You could see it on his face even after Dionte Johnson had the touchdown. He just went, sat on the bench, and was just stone cold face. I don't know if that's how he normally is, but he definitely showed his displeasure with how things are working. I was really hoping for a strong game for him this week. Just didn't come to fruition. And then obviously you can see none of the tight ends are worth starting. I know Will Levis, maybe you're hoping for that, spark with Chigakonkwo, but that wasn't there. And then Hayward is a backup and Darnell Washington's a rookie. That tight end group is definitely Pat Freiermuth in waiting. So, and that is it for this game. No real comments elsewhere I can think of. I will say there is some news and notes before I jump into the preview of the couple of games to talk about. Well, I can talk about one, which is the game Colts going into Carolina. Shane Steichen was asked today about JT's touches, and he said the reason why he's not getting 20 touches a game is because of Zach Moss, and that is frustrating for both Zach Moss and JT owners. Well, it's great for Zach Moss owners who just can keep writing that out because he's going to get 12 touches at least, is what it sounds like. But Zach Moss has second most rushing yards, so you can't just put that guy on the bench and let JT take over. I mean, he's being effective, so it does make sense. Other news is that Drake London did not practice Thursday, so be on the lookout. It's trending towards him not playing this week, and Damian Pierce also didn't practice, so Devin Singletary would be a smash starter if he gets the full backfield to himself. On to this game. So on the Indy side here, Gardner Minshew, I actually don't mind him this week if you're streaming, for Trevor Lawrence or for Brock Purdy even. I don't mind that because the offense has consistently put up over 20 points. It's the only team to do that for 8 weeks straight. So I don't mind you starting Gardner Minshew this week if you are looking to flex out of that. You can start both Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss. They have been startable. They've been both putting up like RB2 numbers. So you'll take that for what it is. And wide receivers, it's just Michael Pittman and Josh Downs. Josh Downs should definitely be starting in your lineup. He has been great. He's averaging, like as you can see, these past weeks since basically Gardner Minshew's taken over from basically week 5. He filled in. But Jacksonville had 8 targets, Cleveland 6, and New Orleans he had 9. And obviously 5 receptions, 7 receptions, and then a couple touchdowns in there. He's a smash start. And Michael Pittman's always you're gonna leave him in your lineup. Gardner Minshew's airing it out. So there it is. On Carolina side, I'm actually not opposed to them just because the Colts have probably one of the worst secondaries in the league. They're on their 5th and 6th string DB. So obviously Bryce Young will have no problem throwing the ball. Chuba Hubbard is the only running back in the start of this backfield. Miles Sanders is awful. He only had 2 touches last week, and Chuba Hubbard is a lot more efficient on the ground. And he also is a very good receiving back. So he's a start this week. And the only wide receiver I'm going to start this week from Carolina is Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen he is currently wide receiver 8 on the season. So you've got to keep starting him no matter what. I know it's weird, but look at these numbers. It's ridiculous. You can't complain about it for how you got him where you got him with the waiver wire. This game, man, my apologies. This game for me, I think Carolina wins again. I think they can start to get a little win streak here going. I think Bryce Young has a really good game. I just think the Colts we just have such a bad defense. It's just going to be hard for us to stop it if Bryce Young is just even efficient. On to the next game. I wouldn't say it's a battle of the backups because Daniel Jones is supposed to play here. New York Giants go into Las Vegas. Aiden O'Connell was given the green light to start. They officially benched Jimmy G for what it sounds like for the remainder of the season. New head coach takes over. He feels that Aiden O'Connell is the best option for them. I'll start with the Raiders side. You can start Josh Jacobs. You have to. It is what it is this week. I know he's been not what you expected. He got a touchdown last week. So maybe some signs of improvement. Who knows? I know Devontae Adams has been very lackluster. I know for where you've taken him, it's been frustrating. But he's still getting the target. 5 is nothing, but 12, 7 is still there. I think Aiden O'Connell brings back Devontae Adams to at least closer to a fringe wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 numbers this week. That's what I would expect. You can still start Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers is still putting up respectable numbers. I know last week wasn't what you expected, but he is getting open. I still think it'll be the same playbook, just different plays they'll throw out there. And that is really it on the Raiders side. I will say on the Giants side, the only person that I really want to start is Saquon, and that is it. There's no one else I want to start. I don't want to start Daniel Jones. I don't really want to start Wandale. Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt. The tight end is going to be Daniel Bellinger with my apologies, Waller being out this week. So that's it. I just want to start Saquon. Saquon's the only one from this offense that's even worth starting. So with this game, I do think the Raiders win. I think they're going to fight. They're showing signs of life in the locker room. They're very excited with McDaniels being gone. So I think they win this one for their new head coach. On to the next game, which will probably be I would probably say the best game of the week. It's Dallas going into Philly. I'll start with the Dallas side. You can start Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has played very well against Philly. Whatever reason it is, he has really good numbers against him. And he's got good numbers in the season regardless. I know he's QB 16 on the year, but I do expect a good shootout game between him and Philly. You start Tony Pollard. I know it's been frustrating for Tony Pollard owners. He's just not, their games have been so lopsided where they didn't really need him, and they've been down by so much you can't use them. So you still start him. I think he will be able to get some runs and some work in the backfield. You start CeeDee Lamb. You have no issues there. He's wide receiver 11 on the year. He improved this week. I think he talked to the head coach about getting his receptions up, and it happened. So I think he'll do the same thing this week as well. Brandon Cooks, I mean, I don't mind him in a flex spot, and I think Michael Gallup is just as frustrating for him because he's getting all these targets with no reception. So I don't mind that either. And then for tight end, I do like Jake Ferguson this week. I think he has it. I think he finished as a tight end one this week. So on to the Eagle side, it's the same 5 guys as always. Or 4, 5. It is 5. My apologies. Jalen Hurts, he's QB2 on the year. You start him. DeAndre Swift, he's RB5 on the year, which is crazy. You start him. AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and then you're obviously starting Dallas Goedert. For this game, I do think the Eagles win. I think the Eagles win by a touchdown. The spread's at 3. I like this game a lot. I think it's going to be a very exciting. I think the over hits 2. I think it'll be a shootout game. I think whoever has the ball last wins the game. On to the last game for the Sunday night preview. It's Buffalo going into Cincy. This is Sunday Night Football. So I'll start with Buffalo's side. Josh Allen is a smash start. James Cook, I know Leonard Fournette. I still think it's more of a jeopardy thing for Latavius Murray than it is James Cook. Regardless, James Cook has not been the goal line back. He's been used other ways. He's been effective other ways. So regardless, you weren't expecting goal line carries anyways. So it's more of a threat towards Latavius Murray. Wide receivers, it's Stephon Diggs. Gabe Davis is it's a tough read. He's wide receiver 22 in the year, so he's got respectable numbers. Obviously, just came from last week where he put up one of his best games so far of the season. Now, does it repeat? I'm not sure. Here has been getting more and more work, I guess you could say. Obviously, as you can see, last 2 weeks, 4 targets, 6 targets, and he's caught all of his passes, which is great. I'm still on the side of let's see it again before I start him. I'm not opposed to it. I just think if you're down in projections, I guess, or if you are trying to shoot from the hip there, I don't mind starting him because he could get off a touchdown. And Dalton Kincaid, I think you're leaving in your lineup until Dawson Knox gets back. And even if Dawson Knox comes back, I still think you can start him. He is, ever since he's taken over that role of being just the tight end one for them, he has been immaculate. So those are the guys for Buffalo. And then on Cincinnati side, my apologies, folks. On the Cincinnati side, it's pretty simple. You are starting Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has been playing a lot better these past couple of weeks. His numbers, and even against San Francisco, he had really good numbers, 3 touchdowns thrown. You're starting Joe Mixon. Buffalo has a really bad run defense, so I expect him to get used a lot. And then Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is showing life. I don't mind you. Obviously, where you took him, you get to start him. I'm not starting. I know he had a touchdown last week. It's just not starting him, and then that's about it on the Cincinnati side. I do like Buffalo in this game. I think Buffalo pulls off the victory. I think, obviously, everyone's saying, is this a must-win for either team? I don't think so. I just think Buffalo needs this win more than Cincinnati needs this win, in my opinion. So, guys, that's all I have for these late games and for the Thursday night review. If you guys have any questions about your lineups, about some trades, about who you should start and sit, let us know in the comments. We will definitely answer back to you pretty quickly. As always, guys, if you guys can like and subscribe, it helps the channel grow. We really appreciate it. Tell them, guys, have a good night.